For the most part, a lot of you that are subscribed to this channel, you're here for the cheapies. I get it. It's the core of where my fragrance collection started. It helps it continue to evolve because I like smelling good on a budget. I do. I wear my fair share of cheapies on a weekly basis. There's one or two that I'm giving a good run every single week. And in this video, I'm bringing you what I believe to be 15 of the best for the warm weather. A lot of these, your best bet is to find them in the rack stores, but you can find them for a fantastic price online. All of these can be found under $40 USD. Some really good stuff here. Let's discuss them. Stay tuned. Starting with one that I don't think I've ever walked into a Nordstrom rack and seen, a rack that didn't have at least 5 or 6 bottles of Kenneth Vintage Black. This stuff is super underrated. Nobody talks about this fragrance. Has that somewhat of a similar smell, kind of a great alternative to Creed's Virgin Island Water, if you will. Not the same scent profile, but kind of in the same vein as a Tommy Bahama St. Bart's. Still not exactly the same, a little bit different. This one's a little bit more on the icy freshness side of things, whereas that one has a little bit more of a boozy warmth to it. This is beautiful. This is kind of like that without the booziness, I guess is how you can look at it. Beautiful, fresh, citrus, very aquatic, crazy good to smell. It really is. And you can get like 50 mLs like this for around like under 20 bucks, 15 bucks, something like that. Not winning any performance awards, but you can douse yourself in this stuff. Anybody that smells you will think you smell great. You're probably going to love the way you smell as well. Not the highest quality of fragrance. None of these in this video are. We're talking about cheapies today. But man, this stuff, I slept on it for a very long time. I had smelled it in the past. I had a friend that used to have a bottle, and I kind of put off getting it for a long time. I picked this up last year at the recording of this video, and superb fragrance that's severely underrated. Definitely check this one out next time you're at Nordstrom rack, because they have the little scratch and smell things on the packaging, and you can try it out. Kenneth Vintage Black. Here's another one, speaking of icy cold, fresh blue type of stuff that nobody really talks about. Hugo Now. This is one that I did a full review on last year that I'm eager to start pulling out a bit more for the warm weather because it's so damn good. It has this icy, cooling, by the beach, popsicle vibe almost. Almost smells kind of like a blue popsicle in many ways. It's, I believe, I forgot the exact note breakdown, but I know there's an icy cooling effect to this. It's very fresh and invigorating. This stuff smells great. I can't imagine anybody not liking the way this stuff smells. Another one, super underrated cheap fragrance that nobody really talks about. You can stand out a little bit with this one because it doesn't smell like everything else, but it's not some challenging, out the norm, different fragrance at the same time. Super, super fresh. Like I said, I can't stress enough how fresh an icy cooling type of smell this is without being too minty type of iciness, if that makes any sense. There's some citrus here, but it's more about this aquatic watery feel that it has, and it really gives off kind of like that blue popsicle. Think the multicolor popsicles that are all tethered together in a row and you tear it off, and as a kid you always just bit the end off, but you know, as an adult you just cut the top. Those types of popsicles. That's what this most closely relates to for me. Not exactly a blue raspberry smell, but kind of similar in many, many ways. Check this one out online. You can get this for a very good price online, and you can get it from time to time in rack stores. I've only seen it like one time at a Burlington, I believe, but online you can get this in the sub $30 price range, and it smells freaking amazing. This is Hugo Now. Super underrated. Nobody talks about it because, yes, this one's only going to last about 3 hours on your skin. At least it only lasts about 3 hours on my skin. But this is one of those fragrances that in the super high heat, when you're heading to the beach, when you're on vacation, in the gym bag, running errands, you know, in a pinch, something you keep at work to smell incredible for super cheap. You can find this well under $20 for a 100 milliliter bottle of Paris Hilton for Him. This is so good, guys. Has this super airy, bright melon type of smell. Very, very good scent. Cucumber melon type of smell. Kind of takes cues from the original Polo Blue, meets, I don't really know what else to say. Something that's super airy. Super, super airy. Almost like closer related to Eternity Aqua than Polo Blue, honestly. Has a little bit more of a mature vibe, but not an old man smell. I'm trying to find the right words to break this one down for you guys because, I don't know, there's something special about this scent. It doesn't smell like everything else, but it's nothing crazy unique at the same time. I got to spray it some more because this, I'm telling you guys, when you smell it, it's one of a kind, especially for under 20 bucks. I slept on this one for a long time. A lot of my viewers, some of you may be watching this video right now, had told me this was a sleeper, cheapy, fresh fragrance. And, you know, I finally got my hands on it last year, and it absolutely is. This is one that you'll see at rack stores on a regular basis. Burlington, Ross Dress for Less. Those are the main two culprits where I've always seen this one pop up. And you never really think twice of it. It's a Paris Hilton celebrity fragrance. No big deal. Well, turns out it's actually quite unique and one of the best smelling cheap freshies I've ever put my nose on. That's why I had to put it in this video. It fits the topic so well. It's definitely built for the heat. And like I said, believe it or not, there's some uniqueness here. It's got this cucumber melon smell, super bright and airy, without being a crazy, watery, aquatic, or mega citrus bomb. Like, it doesn't go either side of the spectrum with that. It falls somewhere in the middle. A little bit of fruity sweetness, but not a sweet fragrance. Not a ton of woods here, because typically when you get this kind of freshness, you'll have a lot of woods in the background, which can kind of make it a generic, smells like everything scent. This is not that. Check this one out next time you come across it. Paris Hilton for him. Next, I think this is the best cheap alternative for Invictus Aqua 2018. To my nose, the only real differences here is this has lavender, which makes it a little bit more soapy than Invictus Aqua. Invictus Aqua has violet, which makes it a little bit more floral and powdery than Halloween Man Hero. You can find this 4.2 ounce bottle for around 40 bucks, even a little bit less if you're willing to get a tester, which still comes with the cap, just comes in a white tester box. And I gotta tell you guys, this stuff performs pretty much as well. 6-7 hour range of longevity, similar projection, that arm's length type of reach for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and just smells so good. Citrus, aquatic, watery fresh, and a little soapy. This has a pretty good dose of lavender without it being just completely a lavender scent. Like I said, not quite 1-to-1 to Invictus Aqua 2018, but I would say every bit of like 85-90%. 85% at the low end for sure. This stuff is really good. This is one of my best cheap discoveries, and it's actually a pretty new release. This came out last year at the recording of this video. I think it was one of the best releases from the designer realm last year, and it got cheap really fast, as these Halloween Man fragrances tend to. Don't sleep on this one. I know Halloween Man X gets all the hype, all the love it has for a couple of years now. It's a good sweet coffee fragrance that you can get cheap, but as far as great aquatics, man, it doesn't get much better than this light blue aquatic type of stuff that's going to pull some compliments, going to perform well in the heat, because not too many fragrances perform that great in the heat, and this one actually not a beast by any means, but it's no slouch, and that's the beauty of it. For the price versus the performance versus the smell, this is one of the best cheap fragrances for the hot weather, hands down. That's Halloween Man Hero. We're sliding right back to the Hugo Man line because I couldn't leave this fragrance out. Hugo Now deserved to be in this video, and so does Hugo Reversed. Basically, a designer take on Roger Parfum's Elysium Parfum Cologne. Grapefruit vetiver smell. Is it exactly the same? No, but it's a great cheap alternative to it, because this is another one that you can find for the sub $30 range. 4 to 5 hours of longevity on my skin. Again, not winning any performance awards, but it's in that average to slightly below average range. This is one that you may, if you're going to be gone for a whole work day, you might want to keep with you to refresh. But I got to tell you, this is one of the best smelling cheap fragrances in this video. Absolutely top tier when it comes to scent profile, in my opinion. This, I would, if I had to pick just one of the Hugo Man fragrances that was in this video, it probably would be just just this one, you know. I mean, Hugo Now is incredible. That's why I wanted to put it in this video. And I debated on having two fragrances from the same line, but they both deserve it. They're both that good, in my opinion. They're not super synthetic. They smell incredible. They will pull a compliment here and there. They're not some big compliment magnets. I would think this one a little bit more so than Hugo Now. But I don't know, there's some underrated sleeper cheapies coming from this Hugo Man line over the last couple of years, and these are two of them that do the trick. I mean, if you like fresh fragrances, these are at least worthy of sampling or trying. They're blind buy safe. They're just really, really good, especially Hugo Reversed. This had some hype not that long ago, and I think it's very well deserved. I picked this one up at a Burlington for 25 bucks. $30 range. You can get a 4.2 ounce, 75 ml, and you know, mid to low 20s. It's really hard to beat, guys. It's really hard to beat. One of the best grapefruit fragrances out there. Yes, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever is a great grapefruit scent. You can get this for a fraction of that price, about half. And it's going to perform about the same, and this one smells kind of like Elysium. So keep that in mind. You really should try this one. This is some good stuff. Hugo Reversed. Next, this is one I kind of relate to, kind of a polo blue EDP type of smell, where it's a little bit richer and greener, mixed with maybe a little touch of Sauvage, because I do smell a little bit of Ambrox in here. The notes will tell you one thing, but what I smell is almost completely different, not exactly, from the note breakdown. This is another Tommy Bahama fragrance. This is called Maritime Deep Blue, another one that doesn't get enough love. Shame on me, I don't wear it enough, honestly. It's my favorite in the line. I have three of the fragrances that are in this line, and this one is so good. Kind of a shower gel scent, but like I said, the greenery here that I pick up kind of gives it a different level of character. There's a little bit of a green, fresh spice tone in the background that never overtakes and kind of pulls away any of the freshness, but there's definitely an herbal green feel to this fragrance for being called deep blue. It's lovely. I actually really, really enjoy this. And that's why I said shame on me. I haven't been wearing it. One of the reasons I'm talking about it is I'm going to put this back in rotation over the next several weeks at the recording of this video. It's super underrated. 4.2 ounce like this, 30 bucks at the rack stores. Where I've seen them the most is Burlington, but you can find them online in that same price point. If you can't find them locally, check online. They go for about the same price as you can find them in the rack stores. And this stuff, again, not winning any performance awards. 4 or 5 hour fragrance, you know, below average to average type of range, but a little unique. Not mold breaking, not completely different when I say a little unique, but kind of like that polo blue EDP feel with some extra greenery. And like I said, a little touch of Sauvage in there is kind of the combination of what I actually smell in the air and on my skin versus the note breakdown. I don't remember the note breakdown specifically, but I know it kind of paints a different picture from what I actually smell. So if you see this one out there, or if you happen to go by a Tommy Bahama store, pop in and check out one of the testers, because you may end up falling in love with this one, and you can definitely get it cheaper online than at the Tommy Bahama store. One of the best cheapies for warm weather that's super underrated. Tommy Bahama Maritime Deep Blue. This is not some secret hidden gem cheapie. This has been around for many years now. It gets a lot of love from a lot of different people. If you like bergamot and vetiver, kind of this zesty bergamot smell, there's no reason not to get your hands on Aqua Essenziale Colonia from Salvatore Ferragamo. Yes, I'm a huge fan of the Blue Flanker. It's one of my favorite fragrances. But this stuff, it's kind of in the same vein of Acqua di Parma Colonia without smelling. Obviously near the quality or exactly the same, but it's kind of that Italian style zesty cologne smell. It's a timeless scent profile. This is not reinventing the wheel. This is taking a classic Italian citrus style fragrance and kind of making it their own. I love what Ferragamo did here. This is a long-term cheapie. You can find this one $30 or less. This is like the easiest one to find and the cheapest one of the three. And it's kind of the most underrated because the original Aqua Sinziali kind of smells like Bleu de Chanel EDT without the incense. That gets its fair share of love. Aqua Sinziali Blue, kind of a slightly unique blue fragrance in the same vein of a Dylan Blue, but more dense, sweet, and powdery. But this There's something special about this for the warm weather. It's fresh, it's invigorating, and it actually dresses up very well. There's a little bit of class here with Aqua Essenziale Colonia. Like I said, nothing new. We're not reinventing the wheel with this scent profile, and it's been around for several years itself. But for the price point, it's kind of hard to beat. If you're tired of all the mega doses of synthetics, which there is a little ambroxan in here if I remember correctly, but it's not overdone where it just smells like shower gel. But if you're tired of just all these, amber woods and ambergris and all that stuff, maybe you should check this out because it's much more featured around fresh green citrus and zestiness. Like I said, that Italian style. Really, really good stuff. Average performer, but super cheap. Aqua Sinziali Colonia. Next, this is a rack store darling. You can find these for 15 bucks when they pop up. You can find them cheap online, but Marshall's, TJ Maxx's, places like that, especially TJ Maxx's. You can find these penguin fragrances, and the hot item is definitely Premium Blend. This stuff's really good. Kind of a minty, watery, aquatic. This stuff is very beloved. This is kind of one of those super cheap, hidden gem type of fragrances that people have talked about over the years. It's so good. These penguin fragrances, I'm telling you guys, they are crazy underrated and deserve some attention from you. Original Blend's actually my favorite. It's kind of got this suede, orangey, pencil shaving type of smell to it. It's a little strange, but I kind of dig that about it. It's the blue bottle with the red cap. There's a few of them in the line. There's another penguin line that's full of really good stuff. Penguin Rocks. The green bottle, you can find that in the rack stores a lot as well. They're making some really good stuff. Synthetic, sure, but mega cheap. On a budget, you're doing well here. They smell great, they're versatile, and they pull a compliment on occasion. I mean, to somebody that's real big into high-end luxury fragrances, obviously you'll smell synthetic, and they may not pay you that compliment, but to the average person, you're going to smell great when you walk by. This does incredible in the heat. Like I said, 15 bucks, and you get plenty of it. It's a 100 milliliter bottle. It smells really, really good. This stuff is really, really good. This is the main one I would recommend. It's the safest blind buy of the whole lot of all the penguin fragrances, and more than likely, you're going to be happy with your $15 purchase. So check this one out next time you come across it at TJ Maxx, or check it out online. You can find it cheap there too. Penguin Premium Blend. Next, in my opinion, is another rack store darling that I have shared many times over the last few years when it comes to underrated summertime fragrances that have a little bit of uniqueness. If you like gin, juniper type of smell, fresh citrus, a little fresh spicy, with solid performance. This is a 5 to 6 hour fragrance. You're going to spend 20 bucks when you find this one at the rack stores for a 50 ml. It's Vince Camuto Ohm. This is the cream of the crop from the Vince Camuto fragrances in my opinion. Now I haven't tried all of them. I don't have all of them. I haven't tried Smoked Oud. I have Terra. I have Eterno. I have a few of them. I have the original Vince Camuto, man, the black label. Don't really care for that one. But this stuff, this is a really good fragrance. Big hit of gin, citrus and gin, crisp edge, boozy but not too boozy. Great in the warm weather. This stuff just hits right in the heat. I'm telling you, I've had this bottle for a while. It's getting down there a little bit. I'm about almost a third of the way through the bottle, roughly. It takes me a while. With a large collection, it takes a while to go through these fragrances. But this stuff, I don't know, it's just something special about it. It's one of the best fragrances I've ever bought for $20 or less. And that covers a lot of ground. I've bought a lot of cheapies. I've given a lot of sub $20 range fragrances a chance on blind buys to see if they were worthy, to discuss with you guys, to add to my collection to see if there were some gems there. And this is one of the top tier $20 or less fragrances I've ever picked up at a rack store. I still see them all the time. They pop up. They're worthy of rolling the dice. This is a blind buy, ready to go fragrance in my opinion. Obviously, that's up to you to make that decision. I'm not going to sit here and completely encourage it, but in my opinion, it is safe to do so. There's a little bit of kind of a different path on a fresh fragrance here, like I said, because it's such a heavy dose of that gin and tonic type of smell. Beautiful stuff that's not overdone with woods and citrus. It's a fresh fragrance that doesn't smell like all of the fresh fragrances. So check this one out next time you come across it. 20 bucks will get you a 50 ml of Vince Camuto Ohm. Still to this day, my favorite cool water flanker. Even with me recently getting Cool Water Parfum, I'm excited about the new release that's upcoming called Cool Water Reborn. At the recording of this, it's not out yet. Cool Water Intense, a personal favorite, magnificent beast of mine. Aquaman, The Aquaman flanker, solid. The original Cool Water, timeless classic. But to me, if I can only keep one, I'm keeping Cool Water Wave. This was a blind buy from a few years ago. One of the first two videos on this channel was the unboxing first impressions, then a full review of this fragrance. I love this stuff. You can bathe in this stuff. In the same vein of Invictus Aqua meets Cool Water. There's a Sichuan pepper here that kind of has a little hit of spice that goes away pretty quickly. It fleets. There's some juniper, some woods. It's very shower gel aquatic. I just wore this a few nights ago out the shower at the recording of this. This is one of the fragrances that sparked this video idea in the first place. Such a good fragrance, guys. You can get it for under 30 bucks for a 4.2 ounce. Usually you can find it for around 20, 25 bucks. Is it unique? No. Like I said, same vein as Invictus Aqua, but this, of all the fragrances I have that smell like Invictus Aqua, which I have a lot at this point, this is probably the one that kind of does its own thing the most of them. Because like I said, it kind of smells like Cool Water's DNA mixed with Invictus Aqua. Sharp, bright, a little fresh, spicy. This stuff is great. 4 to 5 hour fragrance, again, slightly below average to average longevity. Projections on the weaker side, though. You can bathe in this stuff. If you need a little bit heavier projection, you can 10 plus sprays for sure. I always wear at least 10 sprays when I wear this casually or when I used to wear it to work. This was something I would 10 plus spray it. 10 to 12 sprays was the norm. Still is. Even out the shower, I'll do every bit of 8 sprays, which is more than enough to lounge around. But hey, it just smells that good when you really like something. You really like something. So check this one out if you've yet to. Like I said, if I could only take one Cool Water flanker of all of them, I'm going with Cool Water Wave. Next, this is personally one of my favorite releases for summer. It's from a small indie house called Authenticity Perfumes. This is Summer Vibes 2.0. This is the most beastly fragrance in this video. This is a 10 plus hour fragrance on my skin, and it's very loud in the first 2 hours. Very loud. It's a 50% oil concentration. But because it's full of volatile, fresh citrus oils, with the perfumer's alcohol, it's still able to open up and be very bright and not wear too heavy and still have a lot of really good projection. This is one that I'm a huge fan of. Lime tangerine smell up top with some lavender. Bright, bright stuff. Polarizing from what I understand. There's some people that have bought this on my recommendation that didn't care for it. That's why I always say get yourself a sample first if you can. They're 40 bucks before the 10% off code that always accompanies the link. But worthy of a sample. One of my favorite summer fragrances. I'm very eager to pull this one up as it warms up. I wore the original version of it recently, which is just a lighter, it's the yellow label. It's a lighter version of this fragrance, but 3.0 had came around, the orange label. It smells like a bowl of fruits. Beautiful fragrance in its own right, but not as good as this one in my opinion. This is still my favorite fragrance from Authenticity Perfumes. It fits this video topic perfectly. That's why it's here. Get yourself a sample and try this one if you've yet to. If you're looking for a beast that's mega fresh, check out Summer Vibes. The color will mislead you because this is a very beautiful green fragrance. One of the best for spring, works great in the summertime heat as well. This is such a beautiful fragrance. I'm talking about John Varvatos Artisan Blue. This is my second bottle. I used to have a 75 ml. This is my 125 ml. I still just love this stuff. Performance is nothing special. 3 to 4 hours on my skin. But it absolutely gets a pass from me because scent. How much do I enjoy how it smells? That's the most important thing to me, and this is quality. One of the best smelling green fragrances I've ever put my nose on. Every time I have a spring cheapy video, every time I have something about green fragrances, this makes it, and it always will, because it's one of the best ever made in my opinion. You can find these, they do pop up at the rack stores still. You can find them online pretty easily in the sub $40 range. I'm trying to think of something I haven't said about this before because it's so damn good, guys. Oh, so good. We're going to spray it some more actually in the air. So good. Like I said, if you're one of those performance warriors that can't wear anything that doesn't last 8, 10, 12, 16, 4,000 hours, if you're one of those guys, you'll hate this fragrance and it's a pass for you. But if you want to really enjoy something that has this beautiful fresh cut grass meets citrus, There's a chayote note to it. There's some tarragon that offers this grassy green feel. There's some herbs. I believe there's a little bit of basil in here. I want to say there's some lemongrass as well. I don't remember the exact note breakdown. I believe it's chayote that's in here. There's just a strange and unique amalgamation of green notes that create this beautiful aroma that's a must try in my opinion. I don't know how easy it would be to sample, but it's one of my favorite fragrances ever made for the heat. One of my absolute favorite green fragrance ever made. Check this one out. Like I said, it's not blue. Don't let the color confuse you. This is a green fragrance. John Varvatos Artisan Blue. Next, basically the budget version of Versace Man Eau Fresh. It smells almost 1-to-1. A little bit more on the clean muskiness. Honestly, I would say it's every bit of 90% at minimum of Versace Man Eau Fresh. You can find this in the sub $30 range. At rack stores, $20. Online, around $25. We're talking about Azzaro Chrome Sport. I haven't wore this one in a while. I'm pretty excited to start wearing it again. This summer, this is one that's getting in the rotation a lot more. This is one of my favorite cheapies I've gotten in the last few years. I've done a full review in the past on it. I've featured this in video topics in the past. If you can get your hands on this one and you like Versace Man Eau Fresh, it's Versace Man Eau Fresh on a budget. You know, not that Man Eau Fresh isn't cheap to begin with. It's depending on where you find it, you can get it for a really good price. It's very affordable. It's not an expensive fragrance on the gray market from discounters. But this stuff performs about the same, smells about the same, and costs less. It's much more bang for your buck. Those of you that have been watching me for a while, you've heard me discuss this one before. You may have even seen my full review on this fragrance. But for those of you that are newer to the channel, I appreciate you watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, and turn that bell on so you know when I drop a new video. But this is one that's definitely very underrated at this stage. I don't know of anybody talking about it. I never see Scent of the Day post about it or anything. I know it's still out there and available for cheap. It's absolutely worthy of your money. If you like this type of scent profile, that bright citrus, musky type of smell that Versace Man Eau Fresh is known for, then you should really check out Azzaro Chrome Sport. So I referenced this fragrance earlier in the video. It's definitely very similar to Vintage Black from Kenneth Cole, but this one's a bit more boozy. It's got this tequila note in it that offers this warm, boozy feel to it that is Tommy Bahama St. Bart's. This is one of the best fragrances you can get under 30 bucks. Usually you can get it for around 20. Same thing as with Vintage Black. You can find these easily at Nordstrom Rack. If you don't see them at Nordstrom Rack, I'll be surprised. Really, really good stuff. This is another one that's kind of a great cheap alternative to that feel and vibe that you get from Creed Virgin Island Water. Does not smell the same, just a great cheap alternative. This is an older style bottle, so you'll notice the font is different and the print is different from the newer style bottles. If you've seen the newer ones, it says St. Bart's instead with a line or something like that instead of Tommy Bahama in cursive. So it has changed. This bottle is quite old. It's synthetic and citrus and fresh. And I mean, this bottle is like 8 years old and it is not spoiled. So keep that in mind. It's all in how you store them. Yeah, they will spoil over time, but proper storage, cool, dark places makes a difference. But this stuff, again, surprising performance. I get like 5 to 6 hours on my skin. I can't verify how newer bottles are. My uncle does have a newer bottle that I sprayed last summer and I didn't really clock it. We were by the pool. So I can't really verify what kind of performance you get from newer ones, but I would think safely anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. That's a safe bet. 3 hours on the low end, 6 hours on the high end. Definitely spray your clothes if you're gonna wear this one casually. It's a light, clear juice. You're not gonna stain your clothes. This is one I spray my clothes with when I wear. I think that kind of helps me to get that extra push. It's just beautiful. This is one of the best smelling cheapies ever made. It's been around for years now. I don't foresee it going anywhere anytime soon. Not enough people talk about it. This is summer vacation in a bottle. I've said this before, and I have no problem saying that again. This is so good. It's an addictive smell. More so than most of the fragrances in this video, to be completely honest with you. So next time you're at Nordstrom Rack, again, check the packaging. They have the little scratch and sniff things on them. See what you think about it. You may end up leaving with a bottle, because this is summertime in a bottle. Tommy Bahama, St. Bart's. Last but not least, we can't talk cheap fragrances that are best for the hot weather, for the high heat, for the warm weather, however you want to title it. I'm not even sure what the title of the video is exactly going to be. while I'm recording this, but you got to have Nautica Voyage. I mean, it's the token fragrance for this topic. It's the poster child of cheap fragrances for hot weather that are great. Not everybody's going to feel that way, but for the most part, people feel that way. There's a reason they sell a ton of bottles of this stuff. That beautiful green apple in the opening. It's crisp and aquatic. There's no real aquatic notes in here, if I remember correctly in the note breakdown. It's a little bit of a white floral hit. It's a little clean, musky. It's surprisingly a little bit more to it than you would think for the sub $20 price point. It actually performs pretty well too. I get like 6 hours out of this. I've heard people tell me they get much more. Every time I mention this one in a video, somebody comes out in the comments talking about the great performance they get from this fragrance. So everybody's experience is different. Some people only get 2 hours out of this. And then there's some people that get like friggin' 10. That's crazy. I don't get 10. But everybody's skin reacts different. But for, 15 to 20 bucks, guys. It's a great spot to start. It's a great, young fella fragrance for your kids, for teens, for kids in school still. They're going to smell great, and it's not going to cost you much money to buy them a fragrance. It's great for any age, really. Anybody can wear this. It's not a very masculine fragrance. Ladies can wear this too. This literally works for everyone. It's a great, great fragrance for the price, especially in the hot weather. Not hot water. It's weird.
That's terrible.
Right? Nautica Voyage. It spawned a ton of flankers, but none of them can touch the original. It's just that good, guys. Time to dust off your bottle and enjoy it as we move into warmer weather, or if for some reason or another you don't have a bottle, regardless of the size of your collection, regardless of the quality of your collection, there's always room in a fragrance collection for Nautica Voyage, in my opinion. So check this one out if you haven't yet. Well, that's the 15 I have for you today. Until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What in this video have you tried already, or do you have? Let me know what you think about them down in the comments. And on another note, what sparked your interest that I featured in this video? What sounded good to you and you feel like you need to try? I kept it as simple as I could. We don't need to get super technical with topics like this, because all that matters is you smell good. Here's some accords. Here's the type of performance I experience and the price range you can expect to fall into for each one of these bottles. Get to the main points. You know what I mean? I know I tend to ramble sometimes, and sometimes these videos go a bit long, but I don't time myself. I press record, and I just start talking to you guys about these fragrances, because I genuinely love everything about fragrance. I love the variety. I love the levels of quality, the performance levels, the proper suitability for different situations and seasons. I love all of that stuff about it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 15 I featured here and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.